Reading Ambedkar, Volume 10. The Indian Boilers Amendment Bill, the Honorable Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Labour Member, Sir, I move that this bill further to the amend the Indian Boilers Act 1923 be taken into consideration. This measure is a very simple measure. It is a non-controversial measure and it does not involve any matter of principle. Having regard to the consideration, I do not propose to deal at any very great length in explaining the provisions of the bill. It will be sufficient if I tell the House the circumstances which had led government to bring in this amendment bill. Briefly, the circumstances are these. On 23rd February 1942, there occurred in a bill in Bombay a boiler accident which resulted in a very serious loss of life. When this accident occurred, the inquiry was made by the government of Bombay in order to ascertain the cause of this accident. It was found as a result of the inquiry that the explosion was due to something that was wrong in an apparatus which is called economizer. To put it specifically, it was pointed out that the tubes of the economizer, which I understand are technically called feed pipes, had been weakened as a result of long internal corrosion. The result is the inquiry came as a matter of surprise to government because under the Indian Boilers Act 1923, there is a provision made for the boiler inspector to regularly inspect boilers and issue certificates that the boiler were in working order. The question arises to how the boiler inspector permitted himself to issue a certificate, knowing that the feed pipe of the economizer had become unfit for work. It was then found out that, having regarded the regulation issued under Section 28 of Indian Boiler Act, it was not the duty of the boiler inspector to examine the feed pipe of any auxiliary apparatus that was connected with the boiler, and it is because of this fact that the feed pipe were not examined in the case of that particular boiler which exploded. It is to remove this lacuna that the present amendment bill has been brought in. The present bill makes two amendments. The first amendment is to introduce a new clause to Section 2, which is an interpretation clause. It adds a new term called feed pipe and defines what is feed pipe. The second amendment is to enlarge the scope of what is called a steam pipe. According to the law as it stands today, the steam pipe means the main pipe only, and under amendment the steam pipe will now include not only the main pipe but also the feed pipe. After this amendment has been carried, it would be possible for government to amend the regulations framed under Section 28 in order to make it obligatory upon the